Good morning from Belgrade, Serbia, again with a bike, and we are on our way to some museums. So today I'm gonna do the afternoon and the evening to see the city. I'm gonna bike around, just rented a bike for the entire day, which is much easier. And I'm gonna go to Nikola Tesla Museum, so let's have a look. Here we are at the Church of Saint Sava. It's the largest Orthodox church of Serbia. It's a relative new church which was just finished in recent years. The church is inspired by the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. It's a massive church because it can hold up to 10,000 people, plus up to 800 choir singers. The massive chandelier that you see in the middle has a diameter of 20 meters and it weighs 14 tons. It's the heaviest in the world. But of course, the main attraction are the stunning walls and ceilings, made from 400 tons pure 24 karat gold mosaics. And who paid for all of that gold? Mostly Russia and Putin. Belgrade is a heavily congested city with a lot of traffic, so it is advised to look for some parks. Luckily, there are many options. They have built a lot of new parks or renovated a lot of old ones. After visiting Sava Church, I went to a couple of other churches, hoping to see some more incredible art inside. But sometimes it's just white and boring. But this one, on the first glance, didn't look that spectacular, but if you looked at the ceiling, it was quite impressive. Here we are at the Museum and Mausoleum of Joseph Broz Tito, the hero of Yugoslavia. During World War I, he was fighting against the Russian Empire and ended up in a POW camp. During his time in Russia, he got mixed up in the Communist Revolution. During this time, he also got married. He was 27 and his wife 15. I guess times were different back then. Back in Yugoslavia, he became a communist leader, which got him arrested and imprisoned for more than 5 years. After his prison time, he traveled all around Europe to support the communist cause. While doing this, he also managed to avoid the Great Purge of Stalin. But Tito's biggest fame came from his actions during World War II. He became the partisan leader of Yugoslavia and fought with the resistance against the Nazis. He was a real headache for the Nazis and they tried everything to kill him, but they never succeeded. They conducted multiple operations against him and his partisans, and once he was almost caught, but he narrowly got away. Once during an artillery barrage, Tito jumped into a hole and his dog jumped on top of him, and the dog took the shrapnel and Tito survived, but the dog didn't. In the end, Yugoslavia is the only country that liberated itself from the Nazis. Because of this, Stalin had no control over Yugoslavia, and this resulted in the Tito-Stalin split. Because Tito didn't want to be part of the Cold War and therefore started the Non-Alignment Party. And as you can see, he united most of the ex-colonies because they didn't want to be connected to the West because the Western countries were mostly their ex-colonizers. And next to that, he also helped many countries that were not independent yet with their anti-colonial revolutions. His policies in Yugoslavia were also relatively open. His citizens were allowed to travel and work abroad, for example. Because all of this, the West considered Joseph Tito a good communist. Eventually, Tito died in 1980 at the age of 88. His funeral at that time was the biggest ever, and 128 countries attended his funeral. It's time for the colorful currency of Serbia. This time I only have banknotes. Apparently they have coins, but I haven't seen them. So let's start with the number 10. The dinar, that's what they have over there. And this is the 20. They like to put a lot of historical figures on their banknotes. And here we have the 50 of, I think it is a musician. So as of today, for €1 you can get around 117 dinar. So all of this is basically €2. Not so much. So for €1 you can get a lot of dinar. It is a very card-friendly place, the capital at least, Belgrade, which I have only been. They are really modernizing a lot, so you have banks everywhere, they have shopping malls everywhere. They also just have the machine for your card everywhere, so the necessity for cash is not so much in the capital at least, but still it's advised to have cash with you. And also, don't get confused with all the exchange rates around the Balkans, as you saw that happened with me. And be aware of the exchange rate before you buy anything, so you don't make the same mistake that I did. Anyway, that was the currency of Serbia, and let's head back to the video. This country does not have a lot of bike lanes, so I'm just driving where I can. But it's not really where I should be, I think. But I don't really have a choice. So I'm trying to not get hit, basically. Let's see how that works out. This is Topsiderski Park, also known as Wedding Park, because apparently many weddings start or finish here. Part of that park is this octopus-looking, almost 200 years old tree, which is supported by iron beams, which was planted by Prince Milos, who helped liberate Serbia from the Ottomans. But unfortunately the museum was closed, so I couldn't enter. Here you can see me biking around at Ada Singalia Island, also called Sava Island. And as you can see, I'm trying to tell you something on the bike, but I forgot about the wind, and the wind was very bad on this part of the video. The island is in the middle of Belgrade, and is basically a giant recreational area. Here the Belgradians come to relax and let off steam while doing sports. Next to that, there is also a settlement on the island called Partizan, with around 1,000 people, inhabited mostly by working class people and refugees from the wars in the 90s. Next to the settlement is also an artistic colony, where many artists live and come. The government is actually trying to get rid of the settlement, because it's illegal without permits, but until now nothing has been done. The forests on this island are completely wild and really give you an idea that you are in a forest and not in a city. The island has a unique ecosystem, due to it being an island in a major city. It hosts more than 450 plant species. But more surprisingly, it is a protected area for more than 250 fungi species, just on this one island. It also hosts a variety of animals, like foxes, hares, deer and pheasants. Next to that also many amphibians and birds. The north of the island is also home to rows of floating houses. They are used by city people to escape the busy city life. You even have both villas, bars and restaurants, and even clubs. Here I am biking at the most popular spot of the island, Lake Sava, also called Belgrade Sea. It's a very popular recreational area right in the middle of the Sava River. and as you can see, it offers a 7-kilometer long beach filled with bars and restaurants and all kinds of other activities. Considering that Serbia is a landlocked country, this is one of the few ways for Serbians to have the feeling that they are at the beach. Many of the water sports from this island use the lake for competitions. So you can imagine that this place in the summer will be full of life and the atmosphere will be great. All in all, I really recommend going to the island because it's a really nice change from the city life and it's very nearby. Right now I'm biking back to the city, to the center basically, to have a look at what the center is like in an evening. It's actually quite nice bike ride. They have an entire bike lane all the way along this river basically. As you can see, it's lit up here and there. It's pretty nice. It's a completely new boulevard over here with shopping mall and whatever. It's huge. They really love shopping malls here. They have them everywhere. It's insane. They are huge with food courts and everything inside. Because I was just in another one before to just go to the toilet quickly, and there's another one here, and this one is even bigger. It's like this. It's insane. It's immense. It's completely full with people, and this boulevard is totally new. But I tried to get over there basically, back to the center. And of course my chain was loose, so my hands are super, you don't see it now, but my hands are super dirty because the chain got off. But of course a true Dutchman knows how to deal with that, it's just a chain. So let's see how we can get back. Belgrade has always been famous for its nightlife, and you can really see that on this boulevard because this boulevard alone continues for kilometers and it's filled with bars, restaurants and clubs. Many parts of the boulevard are still under construction, including many of the new malls. And you can enjoy any kind of music, as you could see. Yes, so that night I got sick and I spent the entire night on the toilet, unfortunately. But luckily, the next morning I could go to the pharmacy, which was exactly at the bottom of the apartment, and I could get some medicine to be able to get the flight. Luckily, I could spend my time in a pretty nice apartment with the mother of the Airbnb host, as she only spoke Serbian, but she was very cute and always very helpful, and the apartment was very authentic, let's call it like that. So if you want this kind of feeling, I recommend this place. And from there you also have a good view of the Gen X Tower, which symbolizes a gate to welcome people into Belgrade. Also, one thing that I really loved about Belgrade is that they have a lot of murals and mosaics. But then I found this mural literally next to my apartment complex. At first I was just thinking it was some kind of nationalistic Serbian art or something. But then later, translating it, I found out it was actually about the Wagner Group, which now fights for the Russians in Ukraine, for example, and have fought in many dirty wars. They are mercenaries. So I don't know why it is specifically in this neighborhood in that area, but it was pretty strange.
Yeah. Good evening all. Good evening all. This is Professor Fiction with a few facts about Belgrade. Here we go. Right. Fact number 1. After the Ottomans left Belgrade fortress, the Serbian guards started to report seeing ghosts with disfigured faces or without arms, legs or even heads. So therefore they were ordered to never guard alone. The story goes that the ghosts are the victims of the Ottoman torture. That's fact number 1. Okay, here we go. Fact number 2. When the fort was under Serbian control, the Austro-Hungarian Empire started to spread propaganda about the fort being weak and obsolete. So what did the Prince of Serbia do to prove them wrong? Ignore them? No. Send counter-propaganda? No. He started to shoot at his own fort for 24 hours straight. He ordered his own artillery to shoot at their fortress walls to prove the Austro-Hungarians wrong, which he did because the damage was small. But it was quite a drastic measure to prove a point, don't you think? Fact number 3. As mentioned before, Tito and Stalin weren't the best of friends. In fact, it was so bad that Stalin tried to assassinate him 5 times. Tito survived them all and sent a letter to Stalin in response. The letter stated the following: "Stop sending people to try and kill me. We have already caught 5 of them. If you don't stop, then I will send one to Moscow and I won't need to send a second one." This sealed Tito's reputation as being a total badass. So there you have it. 3 facts about Belgrade that you didn't know. This is Professor Fiction signing off until the next time. Bye bye.
Hello.
Hello.
And thank you for watching the Belgrade episodes. I hope you enjoyed them. And also thank you, Dr. Fiction, for the interesting facts and insights.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So now we are at the postcard and magnet part again. So here we have the postcard that I used. It's again a pretty big one from the overall area of Belgrade. And here's the man to read it to you again. So let's see what I wrote to you.
Yes, okay, well, here we go. Okay, let's have a look. Joey, what do you want? Okay, here we go. Good day. So Serbia is supposed to be the cheapest country, but for me it isn't. The city is very busy and vibrant. The center is a mix of medieval, Soviet and modern style. The parks are nice and big. They have this little peninsula in the river. where you have many sports groups, and mostly water sports. People live on the water in water houses, and there is a huge beach with an endless boulevard. The nightlife is all around us, all around the rivers. See you next time. Jason, bye.
Well, that's that. And as you could see, that's basically what I showed you in the video. That's what I wrote in the card. So I also have the magnet. It is a stone magnet. Pretty nice. It's
Wow.
yeah, it's a little tile basically with some colorful scenes of the castle. I thought it was kind of interesting and unique looking. And I also bought this little notebook actually at the museum, the Tito museum. And it looks like a Yugoslav passport. It's supposed to look like, well, I think it's like a worker's passport or something. I thought it was kind of interesting because it looks like an old passport from that time. But actually it's just a notebook. It opens like this and you can just write notes in them if you want. So it looks quite unique. So yeah, and it is not that big, so I could take it with me. Yeah, so apart from most of the disasters, you know, like the taxi and the becoming sick and then the PCR test, etc., it was a nice city and I hope to go back once. Definitely would like to explore more of it. Still many museums that I haven't seen yet. So one day I will definitely return.
Yeah, and hopefully the museums will be open too.
Yeah, probably on different days they will be open, different times. And the bike, definitely a must-have. It was definitely very nice as a Dutch person to have a bike there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now we finish the episode and we give a final homage to the street musician of Belgrade. So take it away.